What up, friends? I am Geoff Fienberg back here with you doing another edition of PGA Tour picks for OddsChecker.com/US. We'll get into my outrights this week. We'll have more later in the week that will drop right into your feed if you sub to the OddsChecker channel. Like this video and leave a comment. Tell me who you think is going to win the Wells Fargo Championship 2021. We did not get to have a Wells Fargo last year because of COVID. We've been here a ton. I absolutely love this course. We've seen some huge winners come home here. Max Homa with the maiden win, and with his form, maybe you should consider picking him this week. James Hahn, a huge win. Brian Harman, a nice priced win. Jason Day's win probably came closer to the chalk, and even Justin Thomas with his PGA Championship victory here the year we did. Yeah, we've been here for major championship golf, and Justin Thomas, as we start that OddsChecker board this week, he's right there at the top of the guys under 20-1. I don't believe I'm going to be betting on any of them, certainly not today, and I couldn't see myself really making that ad tomorrow. But it would be Justin and Bryson who would have my attention. Quickly, par 71, long tree line, classic course, 7,500 yards. I love classic golf courses. I really do. I really do. We get them out in the Carolinas a ton. But this one, like a lot of other ones that we've seen in the area, Sedgefield or even Harbortown a couple weeks ago, classical golf course, but it's much longer, far more demanding. And hey, when you're in the trees, it's a lot harder to hit the green from 190 yards out on a long, demanding par 4 than say at Harbortown, where the holes weren't that long, and if you did have a path, you probably could find that ball on its way to the green. Anyhow, I mean, Justin Thomas, the guy was first in pretty much everything last week from a ball striking tee to green perspective. He was 67th in putting. We say it often: when he putts, he will win. If he putts, he will win. So if you believe Justin Thomas is going to putt this week, maybe doesn't have to putt that great, yeah, go for it. That is all you. I got nothing bad to say about that. Of the guys under 20-1, it would be Justin or Bryson. Bryson's length, really being able to take advantage of a place like this. We like to give Bryson a hard time, but he really does separate himself on longer, difficult golf courses, as we've seen in the past, right? So yeah, those would be the guys. I believe I'm going to go up a tier, not too much farther, and I probably do wish I was getting more for this selection, but I am here. The Norwegian Prince, Viktor Hovland, off his second place last week at Innisbrook. I don't think anything is stopping Viktor right now. Maybe me wagering on him could actually stop him. But the guy is steamrolling downhill. I can't remember a time where it didn't feel like at some point in the tournament he could contend. We had blow-up incidents at Bay Hill. We had a couple bad numbers at Torrey. A second at Concessions. But week in, week out, I am just falling head over heels in love with Viktor Hovland. And the way he's playing, the way he can attack off the tee, the way he can attack with his irons, I am here for Viktor in every single way this week. In many ways, you could say this is a bit of a cocky pick. I'm trying to project something that I've determined in my own mind into reality, and I'll tell you what that is. As I've discussed many times on the podcast, or has been discussed with me by my partner in crime, Pat Mayo, who we have not done a show yet this week. So I do feel kind of naked, but maybe it's what I need to get off the mat here. It's definitely not what I need, but it's the situation we're being dealt with. Nonetheless, Viktor Hovland, this is a course that Rory McIlroy, when he's playing well, dominates. And everything Viktor does, like Viktor reminds me of this young Rory, like that will just come here and blitz a field. Crazy, but I believe it. Victor Hovland. And hey, if I could bet Victor Hovland to win by minus 2.5 strokes as an alternate bet, if some book out there wanted to make it for me, I probably would. Because I'll tell you what, Vic ain't winning by a stroke. He's winning by more than a field goal when he wins. That's how it works with Vic. Like touchdown victories. Rory-esque. Rory, we could talk about Rory. I told you guys, I mean, we're getting maybe better drift than I thought on Rory at a course he's been great at in the past. And we're going to a major in a couple weeks at a course he's won a major at in the past. So for Rory struggles, we're not really getting the Rory jump in the line. I'm betting a short price Victor Hovland 22-1. That's where we are going to start the card. The first bet out of the gate this week was a bit more of a tail for me. I saw a lot of love instantly when these odds came out for a guy that I bet last week. I was happy with that bet. He did not win in Joachim Das Wonder Kid Niemann, and I do believe he's primed to potentially win a PGA Championship in a couple weeks. But before he does that, maybe we blow early, and it's Joachim Niemann. I was able to pull a 40 out of the chute on Monday morning, but the 35-1s that are still available when using that OddsChecker grid still work for me. They absolutely still work for me this week. T8 last week at Innisbrook, 8th in driving distance on the season. If you got to watch any of those featured group coverages, this guy was going toe-to-toe with DJ off the tee. He was literally driving it past DJ. I'm here for all things Das Wonder Kid, Joachim Niemann. Again, I mean, I'm expecting him to potentially pop at the PGA in a couple weeks, but maybe it happens a little bit earlier than some people anticipate. And for me, it's Niemann. Gained over 5 strokes with his putter last week at Innisbrook. Love the driver, love the ball striking. We're getting a hot putter. Let's go, Niemann. I think this is a fine bet at a very fair number. He loves tree-line golf courses. His win at the Greenbrier, he's even verbalized his affinity for these Carolina tree-lined courses. Yes, I know the Greenbrier was in West Virginia, but another classic to the eyes golf course, clearly not as long as the Greenbrier, is not as long as Quail Hollow. Speaking of Quail Hollow, I'm going to retweet it like pretty much when I'm done this video, and it's a mandatory viewing. It's a mandatory viewing. If you're a fan of mine, you got to watch it. If you've watched it before, you got to watch it again. The Ric Flair intro to that PGA Championship here at Quail Hollow a couple years ago for TNT Turner Sports is one of the greatest golf intros, sports intros ever. Woo! Yeah. Green Mile. You want to walk that mile? Now I'm just making bad quotes from it, but I'm going to retweet it. So you find it in my feed and you watch it. And I promise you will enjoy it. I promise you will enjoy it. What are we thinking? Oh yeah, I got one more pick for you today. Matt Wallace, 80-1 using that OddsChecker grid. I swear I saw 90 before I started recording. Must have just flipped on me. As low as 66. The form coming in here for Wallace. 3rd at Valero, 34th at the Masters, 4th at the Heritage. Going into Sunday, he did finish 17th. But he had that really late tee time on Sunday. He was in the final group with Spieth at the Valero. I believe, considering that form, I believe we're now going to a course that suits Matt Wallace exponentially more than the previous ones he's been having success at. He's in form. Now we're going to a course fit. So I'm really excited about Wallace. He loves these hard, difficult courses. We've seen him perform at them in the past, be it in North America, be it Bethpage, be it API. I'm sure there's a couple more that have slipped me, but I'm really high on Wallace. I'm not a total fan of like the double thumb putting we are going through at the moment, but his ball striking has been outstanding. People don't realize he actually struck the ball better than Jordan Spieth did at Valero. So we're going to need a bit of putt luck when it comes to Wallace. But again, it's that current form mixed with a course fit that I believe suits him better than the courses he's been having great success at recently. So for me, Matt Wallace rounds out the card Hovland 22-1 on that odds checker grid. I've seen it as low as 18. We want to get Neiman using that odds checker grid. Make sure we grab that before it drops any lower. I'm currently seeing consortium 35s across the board. And Matthew Wallace, 80-1. 80-1, I'm seeing it as low as 66 on that odds checker grid. I am Geoff Fienberg. I'll be back with you tomorrow for more PGA Tour talk, more PGA Tour bets. We'll do some props. I even anticipate adding an outright or two. There's a handful of players that I've yet to put red ink in. I almost don't want to verbalize them because then it's going to commit me to them. But tomorrow I'll verbalize the guys that we wavered on here. We wavered on. Yeah. Okay, I'm Geoff Fienberg. I'm out. Like the video, sub to the Odds Checker feed, and leave a comment. Tell me who you think is going to win the Wells Fargo. And don't forget to check my Twitter feed and watch that YouTube post I'm going to make from that Ric Flair intro when we were in Charlotte, North Carolina at this very course for that PGA Championship a couple years ago. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Have a blessed day, everybody. Close meeting.